this one, gets the shots out, does get the knock onto one. He is revealed, he's in the open, but he has some support from his teammates. Moving forward with the shotgun, trying to go for the blast into it, can't quite connect, finally does find one, but now it's all going to be T5 going apart with the net. Meanwhile, we've got some, I don't even want to say hot drops, but just potential brewing weirdness between what's going on with 4 Angry Men as well as the Expendables. Yeah. At least managing to get some type of loot before they move into it. Gingy's just going to be on the outskirts of this with 17, not that far away.
Tangled up definitely. Circle, holy. There's a good chance for them to third party should they want to here, especially considering how far from the circle we are. The double nade lined up. Doctus finds the knock again. And this is just 4AM being torn to pieces.
This is just clinically clean every step of the way. They're just dismantling every line of defense, any aggression that 4AM wanted to try to make. Now with just one member on, what do you even do? You're just, there's just a flood against the wall. They're waiting to see how these circles go. Pio though, he's gonna just jump out in the thick of this one, gets completely surrounded. He's gonna get taken down.
Where's the Genji coming too? They're full speed sending it into this one. Master got one. Will he get more of it? Yes, he will. Finds the second as EJ falls. And just like that, what was a somewhat questionable pull-up from Pio in a 1v3 situation could potentially work against them because Scabby is over the hillside, finds the third. And just like that, now it's just DG left on his feet, finds one. He's somehow able to fight back, but nope, not gonna happen. Scabby finds one more, and that's Genji down and out.
Here come the Expendables. They hear what's happening over here, seeing if maybe they can take an opportune moment, get some flushes in. They do at least have a beat on a Master. They're going to bounty in and of themselves.
That's what it is.
T5 also inside the circle. Cerberus playing this one a lot more quiet, and no surprise, they've got probably, they have one of the strongest compounds you could potentially have if the circle goes this way. It's just so close to the
And that's the thing, right? But also they know that they're not alone out there. They know they have players on the western side. They heard the fight with Twisted Minds earlier. They've heard Third on 5 and Sonic shoot towards one another. No reason for them to over-aggress, at least not for the next 10 seconds. Wait this one out, because Cerberus is as good as any team on this server at sweeping edges. Issue is Twisted Minds, who I would arguably say are equally good, are right next to them. Circle, dead center song am. We got cheated away from a Los Leones finish in the previous game, and Taco comes in, so no worries, guys, I got your back.
Have you ever gone to Impala and said, you know, there's too many buildings here. I want less Impala in my Impala. Well, that's what you're getting right now is there's going to be a field to the east, a giant hillside to the west, and not really a ton of buildings to work with as far as an urban ending finish is going to go. FaZe doesn't even like their high ground position anymore. They're just going to send it down. There are a couple of crates that have already positioned into this. T5, no surprise, already tapping into it. The problem is, if you mind, Game PT already has the lineup in, but cannot get the knocks that they wanted to. So now, nade's going to be coming out. Is it going to be enough to stop this push? If Third on 5 just coming in with full-on gusto, man.
TP heard the vehicles. They went went to try and shoot them instead of just lobbing some pre-nades out the window. Not ready for this one whatsoever, and somehow, just like that, Third on 5 are allowed in with only one casualty taken. A bit of a mistake on the side of Game PT. Now let's see if Papsang hit the janitor, and Hush can make something happen here, because they have to take this fight. They just cannot back off. Nice nade over the roof. Finds the first.
There's an awkward situation also brewing to the west of this, where Twisted Minds and Cerberus have bumped into each other inside their rotation and not comfortable. So both hopped outside their vehicles and are waiting to see how this is going to be going down. Cerberus getting the shots in onto Perfectus, using that hillside to navigate it quite efficiently, and it's going to be Twisted Minds who did exactly what you were talking about. They wanted to sweep down this hillside, and it was Cerberus right as soon as they were getting ready to go that spotted it.
Yeah, casualties on both sides already, so not a favorable situation for either of these two teams. As Spirit now starts wrapping down in this direction once more. Himas, shots fired, nothing connecting as fights start escalating on the western side of the city once more.
Sonic's also made a send in over next to the Expendables that you can see is not necessarily going the best. Cerberus, though, Hamas has to deal with Batulins that is so close, just trying to use this hillside. Nade is out. Batulin's going to toss it out. Hamas going to get smoked down, and it is going to get some damage, but Hamas, we've seen him. He'll brave that angle 50% life. He does not care.
Really nice reaction play for him coming through and trying to stay alive there. Tycon as well. The duo out of Cerberus, the heavy hitters out of the APAC region, trying to get damage done. Sonic's fall, that's elsewhere on the map. As we can see on this eastern side of the city, Expendables able to stay alive and potentially able to get all four back on their feet to be able to get one more up. But now Himas falls down to the hands of one, and on the other side, damage is done and Flush is almost taken away. No, not going to happen. Matulin's able to confirm. Nate bounces a bit too far.
This Tyloo now sweeping in. They want to pick up whatever's going to be going on. Twisted Minds do get the moral victory of taking down Cerberus, but what do you do about that Tyloo line now?
Yeah.
Nade's going to be coming out. They don't want to spend too much time here because they don't want to lose that high ground position. So it looks like Tyloo's just like, hey, you know what? We know where he's going. Let's just wait for him to come to us.
One thing is not losing high ground position. Another thing is if you get knocked in the blue, there's a pretty good chance you're going to go down. So why risk it for one extra point when they can just go into the circle, sit and wait this one out? Smart engage by Tyloo, not over aggressing. But again, as we said about about Sonics earlier, playing it smart.
It's a good throw on that Molotov to force Gustav out of his defended position. He's going to get spotted. He's going to go down. Na'Vi starting to just become more and more kings of the song on positioning as the circle does continue to crest and push down into this position. I want to point out, Scappy's presently center of the circle.
He is very much in the middle, no doubt about it. The issue for me is, as much as it goes into the city, it is also swung east of it. And we have open fields out there with 17 Gaming just sat there saying, well, I mean, none of you guys took the compound early. Now we got it, and we are going to be doing all we can to make life miserable hell for anyone trying to wrap out east of this town.
Down up to the north, they're playing from that road. Hey, you know, it kind of worked for them before, fighting on a road, and as they're going to have to path down into the no man's land. 17, like you were talking about, with Little Ghost kind of in the forefront position there. This is... We have 17, and technically it's going to be Tai Lu that are kind of gatekeeping out Song if this does go, because guys, we're only in circle 5 right now. We got 26 alive at circle 5. That is nuts.
Not something you see too often, but of course, quadruple southern shifts do make for a pretty difficult game of PUBG. Danoa, one of 2 teams that have to make a move here. Them and Tai Lu are the only 2 not inside the circle, but in the meantime, inside the city proper. Hush single-handedly trying to fend off against Therodon 5.
Oh, just too many different angles in that bit of a corner, though. So T5 continuing their just breach strategy, and hey, it's working for them right now. Sitting at 4 kills, they're picking up the kills that they need to get into position. The problem is the next set of opponents, that's gonna be the Expendables, who are kind of, they're feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, curious to see if Expendables are gonna try and claim more real estate. They have pretty much full control of the east side of the circle, or east side of the road in the city, but a little hesitant here. Flashes are being lopped on over, but don't get any immediate responses on them. So I think they're just going to try and wrap further north again, clear a couple of more buildings, get yourself some buffer space. They're hearing fights going on up here, and now they want to see if they can position themselves better for the circles to come.
I love the fact that Duck Juice is regrouping over here. He saw Tai Lu make his reposition to the south. And so with that, now we've got the northern corridor and what we're going to be looking at. 17 Gaming trying to venture out over here right as soon as Danoa is coming inside the circle. But there's no cover to be had for really either one of these teams, and led to a very peculiar firefight where you're just kind of using some dips, bouncing in between it. And I mean, knocks are coming out, and there's no easy reses, but there's also no easy flushes.
And this fight going on right now is part of the reason why Expendables opted to go up in this direction. They're starting to flex out into the open field to try and third-party all of this that are currently going on. Look to see Expendable names in the kill feed in just a moment as Millman peeks on over, finds Loki. More players to be found from behind, though, as Millman, once again, I mean, so much damage done on multiple teams here.
And Onyx coming in. It looks like he's trying to be the hero, see if maybe he can get an angle onto this one right now. The problem with it, look, Ghost has that high ground position in what is, sure, a pretty flat location, but just an extra 10 meters is massive in this style of situation. Jumping out, he's got to use just a bush, a tree for cover. Now just trying to hunker back down into it. He does get some damage out, does get a knock, but he is going to go down.
Nothing he can do there now. He just set up perfectly to try and keep them all out. And you can see now 777 from Expendables with the flex out position, trying to go, oh, we want a piece of this too. Now we don't shoot us, we're shooting at the guys in between us.
Look, we can be friends. we'll stay on this side of the
longer.
road. You take over that side of the road. As long as we just kind of meet in the middle at some point, life's going to be good. Na'Vi, though, they do have to be careful. They still have Batulins that's eyeing a line into this.
He's been creeping his way out from the blue for the last minute and a half, and here he is. And for Expendables as well, with this circle shifting further north, they're opting to fall further back down on that southern side, in which there was a control of before, because now Tai Lu is here. The threat of any teams coming up towards them on that northern side is no more. So now, on the southern side, Tai Lu is the next team for Expendables to really worry about.
And Tai Lu is just, you can't say they've been given anything in this one. They've been having to deal with a lot of these circle shifts, navigating it very, very well. They are playing down to the south, which is kind of the safer areas to be into, as Batulins has managed to make it into this safe zone. The problem is there's still another one in front of him. Fortunately, though, Na'Vi is very focused in what's going on with 17 Gaming, and Tai Lu is still, actually, Tai Lu does know where he is, and they're taking pot shots at
It's
it.
as if everyone but Scabby has opted to play up and around the roadside. They want to make as much space for themselves as they can, with the exception here of 17 Gaming. Somehow still 4 alive, able to survive that entire Danoa onslaught. And not only do they survive, but they get level 3 gear with it too.
We also do want to point out right now that Tanvu has actually crossed the road.
Yeah.
The only squad that has members on opposite sides of this road is going to be the Expendables. And the reason that this is important, we've seen it so many times late game. that open, flat area of a road. You guys know, you've played through them. It just feels like the harshest thing in the world to try to cross a road late game. So having at least a foothold over there now could give them something to work with no matter which way the circle goes.
Also, in case it swings out towards the east, they're set up perfectly with Tanwu being able to feed info across on teams coming up close towards their position. So smart to have a little bit of a lurker set across the road, a spy, so to speak, on the other side of the wall here.
This is just such a tense standoff. You can hear everybody just kind of leaned in, listening for footsteps, trying to feel it out. They're just kind of leaning in, just looking at doorways. This lets you know, okay, we have no idea how many people could potentially be on top of us. You can, until you hear the footsteps, until you hear the firefighting. But right now, with the fact that this is such an urban finish, it's all been the fighting on the outside. Everybody third-partying into the firefights inside the fields. So that's the only bit of information you really had to work with.
Not only is it a city ending, which of course allows for more teams to stay alive throughout the mid to late game, but we also saw so much chaos in the early to mid game, which means that that a lot of those teams would be eliminated already. Tanwu finding a few shots, finding a knock onto Little Ghost as well. And this is all damage that might not seem like much right now, but one extra knock is an extended bleed timer. And a helmet gone, as you can see, instantly after Little Ghost gets rest, but down once more. All this damage being done towards 17 is going to make their rotation that much harder. Good thing for them is, at least for now, they don't have to go anywhere.
Just look at the firing lines that are set up. 17 Gaming, yes, you're talking about they are technically entrenched in position, don't have to move just quite yet, but Navi's line is really just set to catch them no matter which way it goes. The Expendables line, same freaking thing for them to have to deal with. Tyloo, coming in from the south, has been spotted out by Ayla. Going to take some shots into this one. Smoke's going to be revealing this, and I mean, that does also mean that a lot of utility is being used at this stage just to try to navigate some of these very, I guess, hectic angles.
Yeah. All of Tyloo embracing that this will most definitely be an urban ending, unless if we see the wildest eastern hard shift in phase 8, and even then it's going to end in and around the road. But I like the way they're approaching this. Go full together, don't take anything for granted, spread out, take control. What I'm worried about, though, is we haven't really seen use of any blue zone nades yet. Now, I know teams had to rotate early because we went far down south, but I would still imagine that some teams are sat with them, waiting for that late game to come around.
I'm just getting nervous based off the way that Na'Vi has their line up. Everything's kind of cresting in and really compressing down to the south. Tyloo does manage to get themselves inside the zone, but they're going to have T5 so close. Tanvu's just going to be a bit ahead of that. Na'Vi is running a very split line. 4 different members in 4 different buildings, but they also have 2 solos that are right behind them.
All you need is one to apply pressure to force those teams around you to fight. They know there's still plenty of teams alive, most of whom are wounded already. So if you can just showing presence in one building, because at this point in the game, no one knows how many is sat in each respective building. No one has had any chance whatsoever to call that out except for Na'Vi. They've been sat in this split for quite a while now. They have full control, so might just sit around and force teams to fight one another so that whenever the fights come to you, it's a solo. It's a duo instead of a 4-man team sprinting straight into you.
Good day for shotgun fans out there, as it looks like we're seeing a couple of them be brought out. Scappy, you can see, has been just by his lonesome for a while now. Just everybody be quiet. Let me listen for footsteps. Let me see what's going on. The 2 solos out of all of Songam to kind of contend with are right next to each other. Probably, what, about a good solid 15 meters apart?
Sat there waiting for anything to happen. Scabby just on the other side now, I think, hearing the footsteps of Petulance as well. Petulance, of course, well aware that there's quite a bit on the line in this stage of the tournament. So even if you don't get kills here, just the more you stay alive, the more chaos unfolds without you, the better off you're going to be in the long run.
Time to make the play on it. Hatsuwant playing this one, gets the shots out, does get the knock onto 1. He is revealed, he's in the open, but he has some support from his teammates. Moving forward with the shotgun, trying to go for the blast into it, can't quite connect, finally does find 1, but now it's all going to be T5 going apart, but the nade! The nade just rips him apart!
Both teams taken out as the follow-off nade gets the last player from Third on 5 as well. Not cleansed by any means for Tyloo or for Third on 5. There are a lot of shots missed. Of course, flashbangs not making things any easier whatsoever. But in the end, both those 2 teams, mutual destruction, take out each other.
This is great for TE. Now they can cross the road. They're going to shift into this position we saw just a moment ago. Na'Vi, everybody that's hanging out in the north is just like, what the hell just happened?
More space for everyone, and it's up to you to claim it. The issue is now with Na'Vi trying to maintain this split. Teams are getting so much closer to them. They do have Upa, I believe, even closer to Expendables than where they're seeing Melman right now. But no, it's Alia, sorry. But any knocked player on Na'Vi, there's pretty much guaranteed that no res is going to come through, because as you said earlier, Matrim, they are sat very, very split apart here.
Got to be careful with this, and they think that they have a pretty solid defense on it. Meanwhile, 17 Gaming looks like they're going to go ahead and hop in their vehicle, try to regroup behind the building before they make whatever shift that they need to. Keep in mind, they do have a recess on the opposite side of that road, but it's not good. And given the fact that they've been having to contend with the Expendables for so long, Expendables still do have a sight line into it. As you can see, yes, there is a ridge there, but it is not comfortable in the slightest for them.
Because the roof is available to Tanvu down the southern side, 17 can't get out, they can't play it. I'm curious to see how many smokes they've actually. You can see Little Ghost, 4 nades, sure, that's all great fun, but no smokes. Xiaobei just used his last. They need smokes for cover in order to get that cast into a position from where they can play. Xiaowu uses his second to last, but here comes the push around from the other side. Expendables know that 17 has to go down south, go down towards him, but 17 has to make a play now.
It's like in so much trouble right now. They're just trying to go for the sin down the hillside. It's already on fire. Maybe just try to use it for cover. It's going to be some shots that are going to connect. Little Ghost is going to go down. Vehicle is going to get exploded. There is the cover to be had, but there is also the Expendables. 777 doing what he does best, pushing aggressively.
Exactly. 777 alongside the rest of Expendables, flexing back across the road once more. We saw it in previous matches how good they are at just instantly reacting to the info being fed across. Just as 17 comes out of the compound, Expendables instantly there to meet them on the battlefield on the eastern side of the road. Xiaobei, Xiaowu still alive, but you have to imagine that's just going to be 4 seconds as they're now in vision as these smokes start to fade away.
Molotov Blue Zone nade's going to stop this push. Expendables don't want to go too far. They know the fact that they have Tanvu back behind them is keeping an eye on what's going to be going on. Scappy does manage to take out the 2-1s. There was an awkward solo 1v1 over there, but we can see that the remnants of 17 are trying to hold this one. Xiaowu just looking directly into that pathing, waiting for someone to come in. Delwyn has that ridge, but 777 stacked together. Luckily, no grenades going to be landing on the side.
777 alongside the rest of Expendables would have really wanted for this fight to be over a long time ago. One good nade here could be the downfall of 3 players, and they seemingly, at least for a moment, have forgotten about Na'Vi. One nade here could be the downfall of all of them, and Alia with 1 nade lopped on over takes out the entirety of Expendables.
And now it is just come apart. 17 Gaming just trying to hold whatever they can, see if maybe they can survive through, but there is nothing that can be done. Na'Vi with that wide split controlling the game.